All right, part three. That's it. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. It's not perfect, but I mean, what do you expect? I'm using a brush, and a small brush at that, an inch and a half wide brush. They don't tell you not to use a brush, but I mean, if you're doing a floor or like that kitchen table at Grandma's, the dining room table I was telling you about, I used a big wide piece of foam or a foam brush. And it went on. I mean, maybe it's just because this stuff is underlayment and it's got a lot of grain to it. I'm sure it'll be fine once we hang them up and they're vertical. Nobody's gonna know. I mean, I'm critical about everything. You know what I mean? Especially stuff that I do. But that's it. Well, the stain job turned out really, really nice. The color looks good. Yeah, the guys at the track will take 2 seconds, look at that and say, what's the big deal? And then they'll go on doing their thing. But it's a big deal to me. So they're done. It's it's a little sticky and humid today. So we've got, what I'm not happy about are the dry areas. I mean, I kind of put it on thick, and I was trying to keep it wet the whole length of the door, so I would just have to just work my way across, but it started drying up so quick that you're gonna get little dry spots, where you're rebrushing over something that's already, been there for a minute and already starting to set up. So it is what it is. What do you do? If we had an air-conditioned shop or something, maybe it'd be different, right? But what the heck would we do with an air-conditioned shop? So it's done. The hardware is coming today. It should be here today. We're getting it from MasterCar. What we decided to do is take and cut these hinges right off with a death wheel. Leave this beefy part here and drill and tap. We're going to use 1/2 inch 20 big stainless steel button heads here. We're trying to overcome this offset in here. See, these other ones here are straight flat. The door itself is obviously going to be thicker than the depth that we've got to play with, so it does kind of stay out above this surface a little bit, which hurts us again even more, seeing as that's stepped down for a below this surface fit. We're concerned that we're with the shortness of this side of the new hinge that will not be able to get enough bite into that plate that's already there. I mean, we really can't go much further than that, so we may have to do a little work, a little bit of coaxing, tuning of these things here. So I mean, really, all we can do is do the best we can with what we got to work with. What we don't want to happen is the first part of the door that touches, obviously, if it swings, is going to be the end or the corner, and the center, not so much. I mean, to a certain extent, it'll help the door seal up real well, right? If it's touching here first. But what you don't want to do is be putting a bunch of pressure on these hinges and inevitably on the bolts that hold the hinges to the door. So we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We may have to. We may go ahead and remove all the foam, the seal trim that's in there anyway, and maybe just go with some thinner trim, if that's the case, to make up the space we need. There's no way we're going to be able to flatten these completely out. We might be able to take a little bend out of here and a little bend out of there, but this is some pretty heavy stuff. So. We don't want to ding it all up, right? So we'll see. Maybe we end up welding a plate on this small bit of the hinge here that will extend us, a little deeper. We can do that over in the garage at my place. That way, it's galvanized. I know what you're thinking. If you weld on it, you're going to cause it to rust. What we'll do is we'll just tape off the center section and we'll paint that outer hinge bit the same color that we're going to paint all the metal. The silver metal is all going to be, again, that hammer tone, little darker silver, dark gray silver hammer tone. So we'll figure it out. We'll get it squared away. But that's it with the doors themselves are basically done. Really, at this point, it's working something out with these hinges and getting them hung. So we can move on to the side door and hopefully to painting the exterior of this thing. So one step at a time. I'm gonna take the bike for a ride. I haven't been out on the bike all of 2020 yet. I've been around the block on it a few times here in the neighborhood, but haven't taken it out on the road. So I'm gonna throw the old helmet on and run out by the lake, run up and down the lake shore. Just get some wind in my face and get out of here for a little while. That's it. God bless you all. Godspeed. We're praying for you. Hang in there. It can always be worse, which means it can always get better. Love y'all.